Hello everyone and welcome to Morbid Mysteries. Like and subscribe my channel for more horror stories.
There is a specific kind of confidence that comes from sitting on top of a heavy, powerful machine. You think that a loud engine and a blindingly bright headlight are enough to cut through any darkness. So when the first monsoon rains hit, chasing the storm on a midnight motorcycle ride feels like an adventure. Two friends, Akash and Pankaj, decided to leave the city lights of Pune behind. Their destination required them to navigate the winding, treacherous mountain roads of Kashedi Ghat. Akash was driving. He had absolute faith that his heavy motorcycle would dominate the elements. But Pankaj, riding on the back, felt paralyzed. As the city faded behind them, he found himself staring into a creeping, unnatural isolation that seemed to press in from the trees. By 2:30 a.m., the biting cold of the mountain air forced them to pull over. They found a desolate, dimly lit roadside tea stall to take a quick break. The old man running the stall listened to their plan to ride deeper into Kashedi Ghat. He stopped pouring the tea to deliver a warning. He told them that the first monsoon fog awakens something ancient on this specific mountain pass. This animated diagram illustrates the Chakwa. In Marathi folklore, it is a paranormal phenomenon acting as a supernatural labyrinth. It traps travelers by manipulating their sense of direction, tricking them into walking in endless circles until exhaustion or terror takes over. Akash laughed it off. He figured accidents on the pass were the result of sleepy drivers, entirely missing the shift in the atmosphere, the moment their modern journey began to drift into an ancient myth. Phase 1 of the trap is disorientation. As they rode back into the thick fog, Akash's eyelids grew incredibly heavy. An unnatural fatigue washed over him, and a creeping realization began to set in that time was starting to warp. This map tracks their intended route down the Kashedi Ghat. Normally, this specific downhill descent takes exactly 15 or 20 minutes. Yet, despite driving continuously at highway speeds, they had been stuck on this exact stretch of road for 2 hours. The disorientation turned into a cold recognition. They weren't moving forward anymore. They were watching the same landmarks repeat like a skipping record. There, on the left, stood the exact same broken banyan tree they had passed 30 minutes prior. Its heavy branch still leaned low, and the bright red cloth tied around its trunk flickered in the dim light of the motorcycle. They were no longer on a physical highway. Objective geography had collapsed around them, leaving them as prisoners within the Chakwa's impossible geometry. Then comes Phase 3. The entity tightens its grip by neutralizing their only advantage. Without warning, the motorcycle's engine died. When Akash desperately stomped on the mechanical kickstart, it had inexplicably lost all resistance, swinging freely as if the machine itself had given up. With the headlight dead, the pitch-black environment closed in on them. They were forced to abandon the vehicle and walk on foot, relying entirely on the weak, flickering flashlights from their cell phones to navigate the claustrophobic air. As they pushed forward, the solid asphalt road literally vanished from beneath their feet. It was replaced instantly by wet mud and hostile jungle brush. Without their speed, their light, or even a solid path to walk on, the two men were now completely exposed to whatever was waiting in the shadows. Scanning the dark, thorny brush with their phones, they found the source of the trap. It was an ancient, physical manifestation squatting directly in the wet mud. It appeared as an old woman with messy white hair, but her features were entirely inhuman. She possessed glowing, luminescent cat-like eyes that caught the phone lights, and she wore an impossibly wide, unnatural grin. The sheer psychological weight of staring at this impossible sight overloaded their senses. Both men's minds shut down entirely, and they collapsed into the mud, losing consciousness. When the first morning light pierced the mountains, they woke up lying completely unharmed on the side of a perfectly normal paved road. The jungle was gone. Akash walked over to the heavy motorcycle, kicked the starter once, and the engine roared to life effortlessly. But the psychological damage was done. Pankaj developed a severe fever and became spiritually hollowed out, losing his energetic personality. Akash's hubris was shattered. He permanently abandoned night riding. The Chakwa remains a geographic predator. an ancient loop waiting in the monsoon fog. It serves as a reminder that out on the Kashedi Ghat, the road doesn't always lead where the map says it should, and no machine can outrun a path that decides to close itself.